Thanks to each and every one of you for joining us today to celebrate with Illinois. You know, when I stepped onto that very big stage in 2017 and announced to the world that our With Illinois campaign was going to raise $2.25 billion in 5 years, there were a lot of people who told me, Jones, there's no way a public university can meet that kind of goal. Now, I do have to publicly admit that the skeptics got part of it right. We didn't raise $2.25 billion in 5 years. We got there in just 4. But then we just kept going until we reached a final figure, just short of $2.7 billion. And I remind you, that is $2.7 billion with a big capital B. And we did this in the middle of the worst global health crisis in living memory. Philanthropy has the power to transform our university. So thanks to the amazing generosity of so many of you, we have grown our existing student support, added thousands of new scholarship funds, and established our new Illinois Commitment Program. We're revolutionizing healthcare by establishing the Carle, Illinois College of Medicine and the Cancer Center at Illinois. We brought SHIELD, the COVID-19 testing protocol, to the university community and to the broader community in order to keep everyone safe. We have built new buildings and remodeled classrooms, and we are building new legacies by naming 2 existing colleges, the Geese College of Business and the Granger College of Engineering. And certainly, we could not have done any of this without all of you. And it is not only the alums and the faculty and the staff and the students who supported us during this campaign. Almost 50% of our donors to the With Illinois campaign really come from our community, our friends who give to support causes that they are passionate about across the university. You know, I've only mentioned just a few of the countless gifts and initiatives that really has helped this university continually to propel bright minds and to find solutions to the world's greatest challenges. With Illinois is the most successful fundraising achievement in our university's history. And we certainly needed to be very proud of that today. And today you'll hear from some inspiring alumni who benefited from private support. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being with Illinois.
Thank you, Chancellor Jones. I was on the same big stage with Chancellor Jones in 2017, honored to help launch the With Illinois campaign. Back then, I told thousands of donors and friends in the audience about my work with mothers in Englewood. I discussed working with the Institute for Genomic Biology and using what we know about genomics to measure how living in neighborhoods with high levels of gun violence affects their mental and physical health. I have good news to report. That work continues, and we have expanded it. Thanks to a recent grant from the MacArthur Foundation, my team and I are now training mostly Black and Latinx high school students and young adults to become community health workers and citizens, or as we call them, community scientists. We have broken down barriers and will provide our youth with unprecedented access to the University of Illinois through workshops on public health, disaster management, wealth creation, healing arts, and policy clinics. Our brilliant youth are the next generation who will foster wellness in their communities, especially during increased gun violence, social unrest, and a global pandemic. And as Associate Dean for Diversity and Democratization of Health Innovation in the newly created Carle, Illinois College of Medicine, my goal is to have our medical students become doctors who work with community health workers to improve access to health care and to develop new wellness tools and policies that directly address the needs of marginalized communities. I am very grateful for how philanthropy has played a vital role in my career. It has allowed me to engage with community members, to understand their challenges, and then to work with them and their children to create big, bold, audacious solutions. Two bold solutions that I will briefly mention are the Wellness Store and the Joy, Happy, Hope campaign. The Wellness Store will have low and high-tech tools co-designed by our young people to promote wellness, including a smart, affordable, small, and healing home, or we call them SASH homes. And yes, our goal is that the Wellness Store will include the ability to purchase a SASH certified home that has all the components that I mentioned, or even a SASH conversion to an existing home or an apartment. The Joy, Happy, Hope campaign seeks to flood our young people's schools, their churches, and the larger community with art, music, and other healing modalities that foster a sense of well-being based on neuroscience and community-based research. So both projects have the goals of decreasing anxiety, depression, loneliness, and creating a culture of health. So I am from Chicago, and I have spent years working with community members on the protective service team at Cook County Hospital, which is now John Stroger Hospital. I also worked with the Ounce of Prevention Fund, now Early Start, doing home visits and working with legislators to develop policies around welfare, childcare, and other family support systems. And now, as a faculty member and a researcher at Illinois, I believe that I am in a sacred space, a space of fulfilling the land-grant mission by bringing knowledge to the community and at the same time learning from them. I am committed to members in Chicago and to their children. I am grateful that being with Illinois means that I am supported and encouraged to pursue groundbreaking interdisciplinary collaborations on campus and transformative, caring, system-changing connections in the city that I absolutely love. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Diana Anghel, and I'm a senior student at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I'm studying journalism with concentrations in informatics and law. I'd like to start by saying that I really identify with Naraya, the student in the video that you just saw. When I found out that academic scholarships covered every last penny I needed to attend college, my entire perception of the world was changed. To know that somewhere out there, someone read my story, looked at my accomplishments, and thought that I deserved what to me is an immense amount of money was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. It was the biggest triumph I'd ever experienced. I'm a first-generation immigrant and college student here in America, and I speak from the heart when I say that this was my reality. No scholarship, no college. But this experience isn't unique to just me and Naraya. There are thousands of stories that go untold of the students that each and every one of you have impacted. So, what is the impact of a scholarship? Well, I asked everyone I knew from my different scholar groups to give me a one-word answer to this question and compiled the most frequent answers. And though I think my stats professor would definitely cringe at the methodology of this research, I think their answers sum up a significant portion of what a lot of us think when answering the question, what is the impact of a scholarship? Determination, independence, opportunity, empowerment, freedom, freedom, and freedom. This last one seems to resonate with my small sample group. Freedom is inevitably what makes us be able to do the things that we want. Without freedom, there is no independence or opportunity or empowerment. But most importantly, there is no education. Now, don't get me wrong. I, along with many, many other scholars, put this dream of educational attainment above all else. But the ironic thing is that scholarships also allow us to find the freedoms that maybe we weren't searching for. The freedoms of everyday college life that seem insignificant in the moment. Trying to make stir fry and setting off the fire alarm of your first apartment and having the entire building have to evacuate. Witnessing excited streets after a win in football. Joining a student organization that makes it feel like, for the first time, you found your people. There's so much more to this university than education. There's community, diversity, opportunity, growth, and culture. All key ingredients to having an initial seed of a scholarship blossom into something bigger. Because of donors who believe in the power of education, I was able to pursue my dream of journalism. I took advantage of the freedoms that my scholarships provided me to embrace all the opportunities that Illinois had to offer. Greek life, study abroad. In fact, last year, I was editor-in-chief of the Daily Alumni, which was a dream that I set for myself the moment that I stepped foot on campus. Whether it is through my career in journalism or my future ability to help others, I want everyone to have the freedom to write their own stories. The way I see things, my goal is to reach a point in my life where I'm able to plant the same seed I was gifted for other people. The seed of a scholarship that blossomed into a liberating story. Thank you.
The success of the With Illinois campaign really reflects the faith that donors like you have in our institution, the faith that our researchers are working on viable solutions to help reduce hunger, to fight cancer, to revolutionize healthcare, and faith that our students will enter the workforce ready to better their communities and contribute to the greater good. Faith that we are moving into this next phase of our university history boldly. And when I look back on the past few years, years that have been challenging at times, years that have been heartbreaking, I am humble and I am proud of the Illinois family. Instead of using the pandemic as an excuse to stand still or to follow the lead of other institutions, we use what we learned to reframe and refocus every aspect of our mission in preparation for what our society will need to rebuild and to recover. Our response to COVID-19 very clearly reminded us that the spirit of innovation and accomplishment is certainly in our DNA, and it is just as vibrant today and just as important today as it was in 1867. So we are a university that is truly believes that when we think big and when we act boldly, the world changes for the better. I want us to pursue the coming year with the same kind of audacity, the same kind of courage that led us to this moment. With your support and students like Diana and Noraya join more than half of our seniors who graduate without debt. And let me say that another way. They graduate with 0 debt. And folks, that is huge. Your support helps us to attract and retain faculty members like Ruby, whose work is a model, an absolute model for contemporary public engagement, an engagement that is having an impact right here in Chicago. Our work continues, and as the flagship university of this great state, we will fulfill our land-grant mission to educate the next generation, to develop the big and innovative ideas that will propel us into the next 150 years and beyond. So at the beginning of this campaign in 2017, I never could have imagined the challenges that was awaiting us. And I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately, that will tell me what to expect in the years to come. But what I do know very well, however, is that we will forge ahead as we've always done, courageously, audaciously, and boldly. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being with Illinois. Now please join me in the singing of our favorite top 20 tune, Hail to the Orange. Please stand. I think I got that right. You musicians. All right, let's go for it. Boldly. Hail to the orange.